Hello again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the tremendous Steve Frazier.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And, guys, we're just randomly giving a commentary for Predator.
Yeah, this is one of those weird ones that we just threw out in conversation, and we were like, well, okay, that's fun.
Might as well. Who cares? Whatever. Sure. Everyone loves Predator. So, hopefully, you'll enjoy what we have to say about it. So, guys, get your timestamp over to 0, turning your subdials to follow along with us, and we'll get synced up with a countdown. So, in 3, 2, 1... play.
Here we go. 2 20th Century Fox movies this month.
Yes. Both with Alan Silvestri scores.
Well, who knew? I didn't.
I just realized that earlier today.
That's kind of fun. Super old school logo here.
Yeah. We're watching the proper 4K edition because it's been a difficult film to get right on home video because a lot of different film stocks were used on the thing. Sometimes they load the wrong film into the camera for certain shots, and something's a lot grainier. A lot of different things. Of course, shoot down in Mexico in the middle of the jungle. A lot of things don't go as well. So 4K is the best the film has ever looked, and it's really the way you should go for this one.
Do you have a one of those videos where you talk about the different iterations on this one?
No, I don't.
Oh, well. I'd be interested.
Even though I have the laserdisc, I have the DVD. I have the DNR to Hell Blu-ray that has all the bonus features on it, and now the 4K, so I could if I wanted.
You probably could.
Could, maybe.
Because you know, folks that subscribe to your channel know that you do these cool videos with all the, you know, the history of the home video release and various differences and whatnot. Yeah. This one's the best, though.
Yes.
Well, we like movies that start with aliens. Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Rest in peace. Earlier this year.
Yeah, that was a sad day.
Yeah.
There's my guy, Jesse Ventura.
Oh, yeah. This movie's got muscle on it, man. A lot of flexing. A lot of egos behind the scenes.
A lot of choppers.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Get to the Chopper movie, right?
Yes.
Like, he did such a run of movies in the 80s that could have been the one.
Yeah.
There's old Apollo.
Oh, yeah.
And there's
the body.
The future mayor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. The future governor of the state of Minnesota. Possibly candidate for president. I don't recall if he actually took...
I don't know if he really
I think he talked about it, but...
Future governor of California.
We got a lot of governors here.
California. And I think Sonny Landham ran for something. He didn't get it. It might have been another... It was either mayoral or it was senatorial. One or another. He vied for something, but it didn't get there.
I thought maybe you were getting mixed up with Sonny Bono, who was the mayor of Palm Springs, right?
Got somewhere. He
was
somewhere.
Palm Springs.
He got places.
And the tree got him.
Sonny Landham there. And he was also in 48 Hours, teamed up with Remar.
Oh, I just saw James Remar 2 days ago. I was at a convention with James Remar.
That's cool. Yeah, they were doing a big Warriors.
There was a Warrior reunion.
Flashback weekend. They dug all the guys out.
Yeah, almost all of them were there. There's no dialogue yet, by the way.
It's all good score, just playing with the visuals.
John McTiernan.
Yeah, he had just done Nomads with Pierce Brosnan, which I really don't know much about, but it got him this job. This got him Die Hard, and then that got him Hunt for October, and the line goes on.
Now, is it set in Mexico?
South America.
South America, okay. That guy really, Phillips there, really looks like an army guy, doesn't he?
Yeah. There we go.
Look at that.
That's not the encapsulation of 80s action movies in one frame. I don't know what it is.
That right there?
Right there.
Schwarzenegger really had a look here, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think of a Apollo there as a just a muscle guy.
Yeah, no. He was a fabulous actor.
Right. No, and he had muscles.
Oh yeah.
But when you think of muscle guys in the 80s, you don't think of him.
Yeah, Stallone, Chuck Norris a little bit.
Schwarzenegger, obviously.
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren.
My team works alone. Say that again real slow, please.
There we go.
Yeah, we got the old choppers here.
Yeah, so this is the same year Schwarzenegger does Running Man, also with Jesse.
Right.
So, yeah, these two guys, they got tight, but there were, like I said, there was egos on, kind of playful egos. Because, like I said, a lot of these guys are muscle dudes. I mean, Jesse's hit the gym, Arnold's hit the gym, but the whole thing is like Jesse got to the gym earlier than Arnold did. And he would kind of play up the fact that, like, oh, I already went through all my stuff by the time Arnold walks in. It's like, oh, you're just starting now or whatnot? They were just little. This film gets macho, man.
Well,
real macho.
It's so interesting that that's the case because, like, I don't know if everybody knows the story of Jesse Ventura's heat with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yes, totally.
And it happened right before this movie.
Oh, yeah.
At WrestleMania in '86, the year before, where famously Jesse Ventura told all of the WWF wrestlers that they should form a union. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people were on board. You know, he...
Yeah. Jesse's charismatic guy. He knows how to lead people.
At this point, and to this day, there's still never been a union, but...
No.
At this point, like... wrestling had become like super popular.
Yeah.
And he thought everyone should get equal rights and various whatever union benefits. Sure. Obviously, people like Vince McMahon are never going to let that happen.
No.
And apparently, it was Hogan who tipped off McMahon to this unionization.
Yeah.
And
busted it up.
They busted the whole thing up. And Ventura, like... He didn't quit, but he was like, I'm going to go to Hollywood and make movies.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, he like all of, if you go back and listen to the commentaries that he did, WrestleMania 4, 5 in particular.
Lust Hogan.
Right. Everything. He just hates Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all real.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the great things about Jesse's commentary. He always felt like he was really spitting it out.
He's my favorite commentator
Speaking of which.
Of all time.
And Jesse he laid a path for everyone on that color commentary booth.
He was my favorite commentator of all time.
And he just showed up backstage at Raw like
a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. course, Hogan's a piece of shit now.
Well,
he's made himself seem like a real big piece of garbage.
Hulk Hogan has decided to jump in the political game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's...
Jesse got there way before you did. He did a lot better job of it.
Well, it's not so much, again, Hogan's not...
running for nothing.
Right. All he's doing is using his pop culture...
clout, notoriety.
Intellectual property, you know, to endorse.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, he's not looking good.
No.
If he was running for something, that'd be completely different.
Sure, yeah. But even today, Jesse would probably be still jabbing.
Well, you know, if Hogan ran for, like, the mayor of Tampa...
Sure, yeah.
Then he would have a good shot at winning. Much like Jerry Lawler...
Oh, yeah, Memphis.
...ran for Memphis and didn't win.
Probably more than once.
Probably. I mean, just in the last calendar year, 12 months... I drove through Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, and I smiled real big, and I thought, oh, Jesse Ventura. It's a northwest suburb of Minneapolis.
I think it was Jesse retired from in-ring because I think it was a blood clot.
Yeah, he had blood clots. I think it was legs, and they were worried that they were going to travel, and go to his lungs and his brain and whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. I think he had his last match in maybe '86, but I was thinking more like '85. And of course, you know, he also thinks that, like, Hogan ripped him off.
Well, they both kind of ripped off Superstar Billy Graham.
Right, they both did. The problem is Jesse admits it.
Yeah.
And Hogan doesn't.
Oh, Hogan won't admit shit.
So, again, that just adds to the layers of anger.
It's easier for Hogan to weave a veil of freaking lies than tell you one bit of truth.
I mean, Hogan has the ability. He's the reason that wrestling is what it is.
Sure, yeah.
Like, he's literally the most popular figure ever.
Sure.
So, I understand the ego.
Yeah.
I've just never been the biggest fan. And I love that it rubs Jesse the wrong way. And then, because all of the time that Jesse was being a bad guy commentator against Hogan, I was thinking, I feel the same way, Jesse. So, I don't know. Body's my guy.
Yeah.
We've totally not talked about this at all. This is the remains of the previous chopper that they've...
Yeah.
And they're going to rescue people, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So already we're starting to think that something is more nefarious than...
I like how they work that dynamic between Dutch and Dylan. You know, it's very playful and friendly at the beginning, but there's still a little kind of like, oh, he's going with you, and though my team kind of works kind of isolated on their own type of stuff. And we're having like CIA oversight and the whole thing.
Right, but he's also thinking like, why are you really here?
Yeah. It's like little suspicion, little tension.
And he's just got an answer for everything. Carl Weathers.
Oh, yeah,
Dylan.
Yeah.
Do you think we needed that little thing at the beginning with the space?
Ship.
Do you think, like, what if that wasn't there?
I think I've heard a couple people wondering how it would play better if it was just kind of out of nowhere.
Just an entity in the woods. I like that better, personally. Like, I don't know if we need that thing at the beginning. Because, again, I like the ordinary people, extraordinary circumstances.
Sure, yeah.
But when you start off the first scene with, like, here's the extraordinary circumstances, or the supernatural explanation.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much almost like an exact same shot from the beginning of The Thing. The ship flies over, it kind of almost crash lands, it goes into the atmosphere and stuff like that. I think it works better for The Thing in that regard because you kind of start out with I don't know. They both kind of work on suspicion, mystique, a little paranoia about certain things as the film goes on.
And that is not normal.
Yeah.
Those are humans without skin.
Yeah.
And
oof.
Can't tell if they're boys or girls. Vultures. The intestines. Those look good. Good intestines.
Oh, yeah.
Who did the effects on this one?
There's a couple, because there's some complicated things in terms of certain things, but in terms of like the gore stuff, I'm going to figure that out. Like I said, Steve Johnson. He was underneath someone else working on this thing, and then he eventually got kind of cut loose afterwards. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it looks like it was. It was Richard Edlund who had worked on like Ghostbusters and like Big Trouble Little China, a couple things here and there. It looks like he worked on visual effects, but I don't know. Because Stan Winston comes into it later on, but we'll get to that.
I think this is an interesting little like setup moment. They you have to have something, weird happen.
Yeah.
And you've got guys that shouldn't have been there die in a mysterious way with no signs of what should have been. No signs of explanation, rational anyway.
And you've crafted a group here that you can feel they've got a history together, and they've done this for a long time. They have a instinctual sensibility about things.
And then you've got this weird shit.
Yeah. Which the infrared vision was very difficult for them to do at the time, I believe.
Right, now you just do it with a computer.
Yeah.
You don't even need a camera.
I think they had to do more than just film it thermally. They had to do like some post-production, like rotoscoping or whatnot, because...
Well, yeah, that doesn't look...
Filming it didn't even make it this distinct, I don't think. They had to do some more work behind the scenes.
Good score.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's...
And Silvestri did a hot job with this one.
it's an interesting concept. The evil entity in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
I think we ain't playing by no regular rules out here, man. I ain't getting fucked because of you. Oh, well, Howard Berger worked on this one.
I was gonna say that those intestines look too good.
And old Screaming Mad George.
Oh, Screaming Mad George.
Kurtzman, yeah. So this got to be like right before K&B hits off, and then Screaming Mad George is working on Elm Street sequels and shit. So,
yeah, Screaming Mad George did the cockroach sequence in Dream Master.
Yeah, so yeah, they got some cream of the crop here.
There's just a village all of a sudden.
So Nicotero's uncredited for this one. So yeah, these are all right up there, and later on Stan Winston jumps in when they had to redesign the Predator.
Well, at this point, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's why I'm reserving comment.
Sure.
We'll get there.
His sweat beads look like, I don't know, a rash or warts or something.
So, one of Arnold's buddies, the big guy with the beard, Sven Ole Thorsen. I think he shows up in Running Man for a hot second.
I'm kind of excited that they're redoing Running Man.
With a proper version of it.
Right,
yes.
right. They're actually going to follow the story.
Glenn Powell, who's a hot star right now. It could be something.
And Glenn Powell is playing the lead?
I believe so,
okay.
Yes.
Got it. I still don't think they're going to fly a plane into a building at the end, but...
Well,
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
They might. I mean, if...
Someone's got some balls on them.
You know, if they did like a little Cessna plane, I think they'd get away with it.
Sure. Not the big jetliner.
Right. Don't do a jetliner. Just do a little Cessna plane.
Sure.
And fly it into the TV network.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, what it is in the story.
Yeah.
I think that you could get away with that without there being comparisons.
They can modulate a little bit, yeah.
Right.
And the fact is, I mean, Jesse fits in this thing. He was a goddamn Navy SEAL.
He was a Navy SEAL, for real.
He didn't have to go through the fucking training on this son of a bitch. Like, he knows this shit inside and out.
Jesse took every opportunity he could to tell you that he was a Navy SEAL.
Oh, straight, yeah. I mean, he was proud of being a Navy SEAL, proud of being a wrestler. I mean, he never downplayed any part of himself. He owned all of it.
If you're going to be in a job, why not be proud of the job you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was also proud of the fact that he was friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
He just looks like he fits in, because he does. This guy reminds me of... what the hell's his name? See, I'm doing that thing again where I don't know. It'll come to me later on.
Sure.
The guy with the droopy eye. Played Idi Amin.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker, that's it. That belt's about to come off there. I don't know if you saw that.
It's a little...
On the back end.
It's a little loose.
What do you think was the peak of his physical conditioning? Schwarzenegger.
On film?
Yeah.
I mean, he's big in Terminator. He's big in Conan. I mean, the later he got, the more he tried to slim down to be more mobile on film.
Right. Like in Cobra, not Cobra,
Commando.
Commando. He looks fairly small, kind of, relatively.
like even for Conan, he had to kind of be able to do all the sword plays. Like he had to drop a little bit of mass on himself to be able to move his arms around and the shoulders and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say T2, but
well, if you look at how he is, his physique in T1 versus T2, he seems leaner in T2, but is probably a lot more mobile, probably better cardio, I'd bet, for doing a lot of the action stuff. Because the more mass you put on, the more strain it puts on the cardio.
Look at this gun.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you could hold a gun like that and fire it.
Well, speaking
of fire,
I was going to say...
Tony Caesar.
I was going to say, even speaking of T2, I mean, Arnold has a similar minigun to that one, too.
Yeah, but he's a machine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's...
For training.
Right, you don't expect the same reaction as you would a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just blowing the fuck out of everybody here. More Tony Caesar. I don't think Tony Caesar worked on this, but I just think of him every time there's a fire stunt. People on fire just falling out of trees.
No, he did not work on this one. I forgot. Just do a quick check.
Tony Caesar?
He's got a few... I know he's got a few credits for like not like some uncredited stuff or whatever the hell it is. I thought I'd take a peek.
This was 87. So was Wes Craven working on anything at this point? I don't think so.
I think like Serpent and Rainbows the following year, maybe.
I thought it was 89, but I could be wrong.
89 Shocker.
Oh. Well, so okay. He might have been working on Serpent.
Working on right around this time.
And I know that Tony Caesar was working on Serpent and the Rainbow. Yeah. He worked on every Wes Craven, in some capacity. He was very proud of that when I met him.
It's a really great use of the 185 thing, having that big tall shot where you could have Billy up in the background and the foreground down below stuff. Because McTiernan usually typically prefer shooting in CinemaScope, but I think they just, knowing where the visual effects would be on this film, that they felt like the 185 would be easier, not dealing with the anamorphic lenses.
That would have been what the film projector industry would have been known as flat lens.
Yes.
As opposed to scope lens, which is the widescreen.
Yeah.
Flat was more...
spherical.
Right, it fit your TV screen, basically.
Yeah.
It was the same shape as a normal TV in the 80s and 90s. But you're right, it provides a better north-south radius.
Yeah.
He does it remind you of Forrest Whitaker?
A little bit. Bill Duke. He'd have a couple of directing credits later on. I think he did Deep Cover with Fishburne and Goldblum.
I never saw that one.
Criterion. I think I got a DVD over there. I haven't watched it yet. Criterion thought enough about it.
It only took Criterion they were 5 years late to the party coming around to 4K.
Yeah.
They just started this year.
A year or two, yeah. But they had a license for Silence of the Lambs. They had it back in Laserdisc, and then they had a Laserdisc DVD, and then they got it for Blu-ray. Did the 4K restoration for Blu-ray, then Kino Lorber got the 4K rights.
Right.
So you can get the 4K, but you won't get the Criterion commentary track off the 4K. I like this.
I was going to say, is this the midpoint? But it's not. It's too early. Because Because we haven't even met the Predator yet.
No.
So, other than the... So,
this is almost like... This is... Where we... What we just saw is almost like the climax of a regular action movie, but it's almost like the end of the first act to a certain degree.
Right. Like, it's too late to be the end of the first act.
Yeah.
And it's too early to be a midpoint.
Right.
The pacing is weird.
It's a little... It is very much... I mean, most films are divided in thirds, but this is particular in how it is. It's almost like 3 different phases of elevated levels of the story to a degree.
Well,
compartmentalized.
You say that the movies
almost
are typically
like 3
in
different
thirds.
threats are built.
Right.
One is this sort of standard action movie, Central American insurgent movie, then becomes the sort of taut, almost slasher film to a degree in the middle, and then it becomes much more of a one-on-one warrior versus warrior fight at the end.
When you say that movies are typically in 3 parts, the difference is that the first part...
It's usually shorter than
you need
the
to get
rest.
in and out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the third part, you need to get in and out in 15 minutes. Yeah. And the second part is all the 2 hours in the middle, or 90 minutes in the middle. If you can go, 10, 80, 10, that's like the perfect number.
Sure.
This is doing 30, 30, 30.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It was so much the thing for Arnold on this one. It's like, because he's working so much against Carl Weathers, who we already established is a great actor. And so he's watching Carl Weathers, how he handles a scene, how he's learning from the guy. And he's kind of reflecting what Weathers is doing and trying to match what he's doing tonally and subtly and stuff like that.
Now, if they know that he's nefarious, couldn't they just execute him?
Huh?
And say that he was collateral damage?
I don't know if I am quite that cold-hearted.
Well, this guy is.
Maybe.
This guy already threatened to kill him.
Yeah, he's giving him a line there. Give him an ultimatum.
That's a great joke.
Yeah, that's Shane Black.
There is Shane Black.
Yes, the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon, at least the first draft of it.
And he wrote a great fucking pussy joke, is what he did.
And he's not an actor.
Did he write this movie?
No.
They just incorporated him.
Because the weird thing is, okay, since Joel Silver's the producer on this...
This is unbelievable. I didn't know this. Go ahead.
But since Joel Silver's producer on this, he produced Lethal Weapon and everything, and he felt that he wanted to have a writer on set with him for whatever the case was.
Right.
Be on hand, throw in some little touches.
Consultant, whatever.
Shane Black says specifically in the documentary, I did nothing with the script. He ad-libs a couple of these jokes that he has for his character, but he didn't write anything. Apparently, one piece of trivia, he was writing the last Boy Scout while in between takes on his downtime.
Wow.
He wasn't writing. He specifically said, I did not write this film. He does write the 4th film in the franchise, which is fucking awful. Okay. We don't know what the fuck happened here because he doesn't want to talk about it.
What's it called?
The Predator.
Okay.
It came out in 2018. And I don't know. Doesn't sound like his writing. I don't know what the fuck happened. He can direct some good stuff. And people just had no idea what the hell happened to this thing. It almost feels like he did it out of spite.
Where does Alien vs. Predator fall in the timeline?
That is 2004.
Is that the 3rd movie? Or is that not considered part of the franchise?
So, it's all weird. There's continuity all over the place.
Okay.
More janky with the Alien stuff than it is the Predator stuff. But it goes Predator, then Predator 2 in 1990, then Alien vs. Predator is 2004.
Is Predator 2 the one with Danny Glover?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gary Busey.
And it's like concrete.
Yeah, concrete jungle, LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen it once.
Okay.
I didn't care for it.
Okay. It's divisive in terms of.
Well, then maybe we should cover it on this channel at some point. Go ahead.
Worth a damn.
Okay, what's after that one?
After that one, then they have the second AVP film in 2007.
Wait, so after Predator 2 is nothing until Alien?
So, okay. Predator 2, then like 14 years later is AVP.
Okay, so that's the third time we've seen Predators, yes. Alien versus. Okay.
And then there's Aliens versus Predator Requiem. Why they subtitled it that way, who knows?
Okay.
Then 2008, there's Predators, produced by Robert Rodriguez, starring Adrian Brody. It's pretty damn good.
Predators, plural.
Predators, plural, as in aliens, plural.
Okay, that makes sense.
10 years after that is the Shane Black The Predator.
Which is terrible.
Then we had the Hulu movie Prey, which is very, very good.
And is that like a prequel?
Yes. Set in the 1700s.
1700s?
Yes. It's very, very good. I have the
wow.
All on 4. I have them all on 4K.
So, what's included in this Predator 4 pack that you've got up here?
That's everything up to Shane Black's director.
Okay, so Predator, Predator 2, Alien versus.
No.
Oh, not the. Okay. So just Predators.
Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator.
Okay.
The naming conventions are a little.
Got it. So none of the alien
not quite
ones.
Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Well, sure. None of the aliens are part of the Predator movie pack collection you have. Okay.
They haven't put those on 4K.
I was just trying to get a lay of the land here.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought her out of the camp, right?
Yeah.
And for what purpose? I wasn't really...
For him. Dylan wants to question her.
Okay,
as a CIA agent.
Got it. This guy's with the hair and
Sonny Landham.
Not Sonny Bono. Got it.
Yes. Sadly, they both passed.
Shane Black.
It was the weirdest thing.
Shane Black does not look like he belongs in this group.
No. Apparently, there was a thing in trivia, the fact that they wanted to give him a red beret to kind of distinguish him, and he felt like it was kind of silly and stupid. And eventually, he regretted it because he feels like he doesn't. It feels distinctive enough against the other guys.
Well, no, he feels like he doesn't fit in.
Right.
I mean, look at that bicep.
Right. I mean, come on.
Look at both of those biceps.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently because they were all shooting in Mexico, you know what the water is like down there.
So everybody had the shits.
Quite a few of them did. McTiernan didn't. He didn't eat much of anything, so he lost a lot of weight back down there.
For those international viewers, listeners, famously the water in Mexico is full of
not well treated
bacteria that Mexicans are well suited to, and our water in the States is much more processed and filtrated. So when we drink their water, we have issues.
Yes. So yeah, there are a lot of issues on this one in that regard. A lot of people getting sick. A lot of production issues, because I mean, when you're shooting out here in the wilderness, I mean, everything, you're getting bitten, eaten up by the mosquitoes and every other goddamn thing out there.
There may or may not be real scorpions.
Yeah, the weather ain't. I mean, it's probably God knows how hot and how humid it is. And for the crew, even worse, because, I mean, you're trying to set things up and put stations together out there and all this rough terrain.
You had lights.
It's kind of the hot, humid inverse of what happened on First Blood.
Okay.
The big, rocky or rough terrain stuff, and it's not a pleasant environment. Or
kind of the opposite of The Thing. Which also had a reunion this weekend at the convention I went to.
Okay.
It's interesting that 40 minutes in, we still don't know what is causing that infrared business. Like, other than the point of view shot,
yeah,
they haven't shown us anything.
No.
Which is kind of cool.
Okay.
I think there's definitely merit there.
Well, especially with the atmosphere the film has. It has a layer of mystique and suspense and tension to it. You're constantly in this thing in the back of your head. There's something else out there that you don't know what it is, and they're not letting it breathe at all. It's not a suffocating tension, but it's a prevalent tension. Because they're on edge as it is. I mean, they're looking around this jungle. It's like, there's some serious business. Like, this is scary out here. They've been in some scary places in the world, and this has got them kind of a little spooked.
Honestly, I'd be more afraid of the bugs. I don't like bugs.
Yeah. And the snakes and the lizards. Still.
Right.
Even that, it's a real quick shot to not really know what you're looking at.
But it was well done.
Yeah, and even that, it's like it's just slowly building the mystery up and a little bit of a peel back of the layers.
I think it's interesting, like, if you're going to invite Shane Black on the set to be a consultant, why even bother putting him in the movie?
Yeah, it's weird. Why? I mean, it's a weird scenario. As far as I know, I don't think he's really done acting anywhere else. I've never seen him pop up on screen in a film before or since. I mean, Lethal Weapon was the first thing he got sold, as far as I know. And that was a big deal.
And that was only less than a year before this.
That came out in like March of '87.
So right, which means that they resold it and filmed it the year before.
4 or 5 months before this, and this one had a long production schedule, so it's just interesting in that regard, that angle. I mean, just paid him to come down and sit on the set for a week or two and whatnot. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe one thing is like a first thing like a Justin Theroux, who's actor but also a screenwriter.
Sure.
Throw him up on give him a role in the film and kind of have a big salt here or there or something like that.
He's the one that was married to Aniston for a long time, right?
I don't know. I know he like wrote like Tropic Thunder and a bunch of other things, like Iron Man 3, which was also Shane Black flick. He was in the Miami Vice film. He was Zito. I mean, so much you can see why McTiernan just became in demand based just what he does here. I mean, the tone he has, the way the cinematographer works the shots and everything, just creates that kind of claustrophobic tension of the film. And unlike some of the other Arnold action films, Conan kind of side by looking Commando, Running Man, even like Raw Deal, whatnot, this one's got a much more hard. It's got the over-the-top moments and it's catchphrase, but it still has a tone that's very serious. It's very dramatic. Much more dramatic than a lot of stuff Arnold was going for. So it also shows that he takes a guy like Arnold and he can craft him to a different degree.
Yeah, there's definitely, even though it's an action movie,
Yeah.
his character is not as action-packed.
Yeah.
MTV shirt, that's fun.
Yeah, he shows he can play the smaller moments, more subtle stuff when he's got the right. My thing was always with Arnold. He worked with smart filmmakers. Worked with Cameron.
I'm not afraid of that snake.
That's a big old sucker. You're gonna eat your whole.
I'm not afraid of that one.
Like Robert's even have a snake that thick.
Like the boas and stuff, they don't. I don't know. They're not venomous.
Okay.
And those I'm not afraid of.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just don't let them wrap around you. You'll be fine.
Right, exactly. At least not all the way around you.
Right.
What's happening here? A little drippy drippy.
Yes. Oh, this just builds that. And kind of horror. I mean, the very much a horror film on a lot of degrees.
Well, the middle third is a
Yeah.
horror movie,
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah.
He just looks so natural
Oh, yeah.
with his hat and his chewing tobacco.
Oh, yeah. He's totally on it, man.
He never got to say "you fuckers" on WWF, so
Oh, no.
it was always fun to. What is that? A pangolin? Oh no!
I mean, you know, a little bit of the tit for tat between Jesse and Hogan. Like, okay, Hogan works with Stallone, but then Jesse works with Schwarzenegger.
Right.
And it adds to the Arnold versus Sly rivalry
Myth,
too.
yeah.
And the whole thing. I mean, it's playful for us. But of course, I mean, he gets to work with Arnold twice in one year, so.
I think Sylvester Stallone inducted Hogan into the WWF Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So I mean,
This is an interesting strategy, right? Just
Yeah.
fire
Yeah,
aimlessly into the woods and
just tear it all down.
hope you hit it.
But it ends up being a nice reflection because they're saying about Jim Hopper's team trying to assess what happened. Billy says they were firing in all directions. They didn't know what they were shooting at. And look at where they're at again.
Right.
It's all just foreshadowing, payoff, everything.
Yeah, it's well done. That is a really nice touch.
Yeah.
I noticed it when he said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I registered it as that's going to happen again, but it didn't occur to me
Yeah.
how poetic it is,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, they're with the reviews at the time. I don't
Look
think
at
a
that
lot-
fucking bicep.
Oh yeah, fuck all.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And in fact, as the film progresses, he strips off another layer of clothing. First, he starts out with a big jacket, then he kind of strips a part away, another part, until it's all just fucking muscles.
He really looks good with the face paint, too.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. body.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, these are a lot of things, like a lot of reviews at the time that didn't quite connect with the film as well. They didn't. They kind of discarded it. They didn't really think about it as much. I mean, it's one of those films like the more settled into people, the more people kind of look back and kind of examine it more. It's like, there's a lot of craft involved with this. It's not just guns and special effects. There's a lot more going on a filmmaking level, on a storytelling level. There it is.
And Mac there is like despondent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he's just
His best friend's just been
obliterated.
blown a hole
Yeah.
in his chest.
Nobody's looking at this sparkling green shit on the side of the.
I think a lot of that was like the stuff to break out the glow sticks.
Oh yeah. What a great, easy move, right?
Yeah.
Crack a glow stick, cut the end off, dump it out. Brilliant.
Look at all these nice camera moves.
Slight peek behind the curtain. When I walked up to Nick's house today, he made a remark about the weather,
Yeah.
and I kind of feel like these characters are in the jungle, and they're experiencing the same weather we had in Chicagoland today. It was in the 90s with
It's
probably
sticky.
99% humidity.
Yeah.
It was thick
Yeah.
and hot.
Yeah. I don't think that the gimmick up the sweat all over them faces.
No, I mean I'm sure they had little misters, but most of
Yeah.
it's real.
Oh yeah.
Like, as somebody who experienced that weather today, I can envision how hot they are in their outfits.
In these out, yeah, all the
Right.
camo and all the other shit.
The
yeah.
gear, right, the hats, even a hat.
Yeah.
Hat'll add 5-6 degrees to your body temp.
Oof.
Can you imagine what it would be like to be a soldier and just see all of your
Compatriots.
right teammates? Look at his neck. His neck is pulsing because he's still breathing. In
Yeah.
real life, you can see his jugular there on the
it.
top of the screen.
Yeah.
Like, you can hold your breath, body, but
Yeah,
You're
the
not-
blood's gonna keep pumping.
you're not really dead. I saw it. The whole notion of, your brotherhood. This is kind of reminiscent of the thing we saw in the last movie, in the Abyss.
Bad.
I think the invisible predator is like really super cool.
Mm-hmm.
This feels very man in a rubber suit to me. Like, the difference is way too shocking. You know what I mean? And maybe it doesn't bother you the same way.
No. I guess it's maybe a good point to bring up the process of the original design towards the later redesign. Because the original design they had was this big kind of gangly looking thing that kind of bobbed its head whenever it ran around. It didn't look good, and
Can people find production
oh yeah,
stills
they're
or
all
whatever?
over the place.
Okay.
the person originally in the suit for that version,
yeah,
Jean-Claude Van Damme, before he
an
actually
unknown,
broke through it, before he did like Bloodsport and everything, he was the guy in the suit, and he was already having a bit of an ego about himself. But they started seeing this because as they have to have the invisible thing in the jungle, they got this big orange-looking thing that's bobbing its head all around. You look it up.
My internet is poor, but I'm trying to pull it up on my phone so I can see it.
But eventually, McTiernan's like, they shot with this thing very little, and he was like, this thing doesn't work. This does not fit what we've shot up to this point to build up what we're crafting the film towards. They shut down production. And then it was Arnold who said, let me call up Stan Winston, see if he can do something for us. And Winston came in, and he was actually on a flight with Jim Cameron. And Cameron said, I always like to see a monster with mandibles. So Cameron had some input on it too. And so when Winston flies in, he gets this entire thing designed up, and he gets the same guy who played Harry and the Hendersons, Kevin Peter Hall, who's like 7 feet tall,
to be the Predator.
So you brought in Stan Winston, who knows all this stuff, and he's got a new idea for the entire thing. But they had to shut down the thing for weeks, so that it backed up production, everything like that. And it's kind of a weird type of thing. If you watch the old documentary, about 20 years old now, that McTiernan claimed the film cost. He claims the film cost so much it never made money back, even though the reported budget is only about maybe $18 million, and it grossed like $90 million. Which I kind of more would see that as like, if this thing cost that much, they would have tried making more fucking films out of it. If they thought it was that cost prohibitive, they would have just said, fuck this thing, we're not going to try making turnaround fast sequels or anything like that. So it might have been just like Hollywood bookkeeping, that a lot of bullshit. But
look at the emotion here.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing you do with a guy like Schwarzenegger. I've never been the greatest actor. Even if in this film, like, I feel like it's probably one of his best performances. You fill him out with guys who got a lot of experience, a lot of talent, who can bolster all these characters around him to elevate the rest of the film. And he had already worked with Arnold on Commando. So we got some guys who know him very well. Producers worked with him a couple before. Silver also produced Commando. So, like, you got a lot of smart people around Arnold to know where to play the strengths and trying to fill out other people in the cast to play down and kind of. You don't have to focus on Arnold 100% of the time. You can fill it out with other actors who can bolster the film and not have to expose weaknesses in Arnold.
I pulled up this photo of the Predator.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of a Jar Jar Binks kind of head situation.
Yeah. And they're seeing this, like I said, with that head or whatnot when it's bouncing around the friggin' jungle. I can see McTiernan like that ain't gonna work.
Well, no, I think the dreadlocks are good.
And it's interesting when you see the cloaked version of it, the invisible version with the arrow. They didn't animate. They didn't have the green screen version of it with the dreadlocks. They just thought it was too hard to key out.
Okay. Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah. Spooking them up more.
That's a great shot with the mist.
Yeah.
The mist and the fog and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, even that scene we just exited, I mean, trying to light things in the middle of the night in the jungle They're not doing any sound stages on this film. It's all right
on location. On location, yeah.
That's a lot of that's real difficult shit. You got to bring out generators if people know how to work this stuff, and trying to find ways to set up the lights on all this terrain. None of it's easy.
These daylight shots are probably easier.
Oh yeah, straight up.
I like that they calling it a he.
Mm-hmm.
That because it's still a person until proven otherwise.
Which is, depending on the source, I think a friend read the novelization for the second film, and it implies that the females are the dominant ones of the species, and that's what we're seeing on film. Now, that's not something that's ever said in canon in the films, but that's said in certain media somewhere. So even if it's just the novelization and that writer decided to take that sort of liberty with it, that's something that's in the conversation of certain things through the fandom.
Have we ever seen more than one at the same time, though?
I mean, we see multiple Predators throughout these sequels, but we never really...
So we don't ever see more than one here,
we
right?
never see a distinctiveness that we see another gender. That we know that we're seeing different genders on screen now.
The Leaves.
Great.
Right, like...
I mean, it's a one-liner, but it's so poignant.
Nobody asked why she didn't tell us earlier, or what did it look like, or how do you know? Can you show us?
Right.
None of those questions arise. It's just the conclusion. If it bleeds, you can kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're an hour in now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, there is a little bit of a tonal shift to now we're fighting back.
Yeah.
Standard war movie, and then we are the hunted, and now we are the hunters.
Fucking muscles, man. This movie's so macho.
They're like regular Nancy Thompsons here trying to booby trap the house.
Yeah.
I like they only booby trapped like one little postage stamp of the of the jungle, but I guess if you're gonna, is he's using sweat to shave himself?
Sort of a nervous tick. Peculiar.
You need bait. That's what you need. Ow. There's always been a kind of a cool understanding between those two, right? Like,
a little bit.
Like, if anyone's gonna take me out,
Yeah.
Carl Weathers says,
Yeah.
it's that crazy bastard over there. The devil, what?
like that it's kind of weaving a little bit of a lore. Nice.
Yeah, I always kind of like those shots.
Yeah.
There's not been a lot of birds in this movie. Cheese is a funny line.
Just like the fact that they've characterized Dylan as that he has been a guy sit behind a desk for too long. He doesn't really have the instincts of a guy in the field anymore. He's too cynical with these guys.
You better be careful, Jack. How much time do you think it took to set all this up?
A couple hours.
That guy kind of looks like a pro wrestler, too. Like an Italian character. Paul Roma type.
Yeah, a little bit.
Roma never got that jacked, though.
No.
I like that you never even saw it.
No.
Oh, shit. That'll kill you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's no dreadlocks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of a wavy line, but... I don't know why it would reveal itself.
It almost feels like it's just like a malfunction.
That could be.
That's nice. That's the turn for a character. Stops thinking about himself and thinks more about
the team.
The team, yeah.
Well, he's the only one that got a look at the malfunction.
Yeah, now he's got something tangible to kind of grasp on.
There's no way that Pancho here is alive after that tree shot.
Oh, he's definitely not walking on his own.
I mean, broken ribs, broken everything.
Yeah. Johnny be bad or something.
Yo, whatever. It's whatever was playing in the helicopter.
Little Richard. That's why I say Johnny be bad. Looks like just like Little Rich. Which is always very funny because Mark Merrill is just a very tanned white man playing in a black man allegory, which just fuels Little Richard's delusions. All the white guys stole his shtick.
Johnny B. Bad was a great character. Yeah. What are these guns? Like, these guns are ridiculous. Are these even real guns, or are they, like, made up for the movie?
I'm sure they're real ones, yes. I don't think you'd be firing them both one-handed.
I like that character a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's...
Yeah, Mac.
Mac is now gone crazy, essentially, after the death of Body Ventura.
Oh, yeah,
he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
He's tunnel visioned.
Look at the hair on the back of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's fight over who gets to shoot him. It.
I mean, and that's nice because now Dylan's taking responsibility for Jim Hopper. He sent this other team in. They got slaughtered. And now he's not playing politics anymore. It's just down to brass tacks.
It's funny because he was totally fine with it when he thought that the Cambodians killed him or whoever it was. But now that it wasn't the bad guys, and it was...
Yeah, it's not the guys we already blasted to hell.
Right.
It's something else out there. I mean, even he doesn't know what the fuck he saw.
You know how many bugs are on the ground right there?
Oh my god.
I don't even want to talk about it.
All over you.
Oh, wherever the red light goes.
You bang.
You bang. He burst that guy open like a watermelon. Really well done.
Yeah.
With the reflections of the... Oh, look at the little...
Pretty sure I read this one did get nominated for the visual effects Oscar that year.
I think it won.
It might have won. I mean, just double check this. The word nomination.
So we're down to what, 4?
It says ultimately Stanwitz was nominated for an Oscar for Predator in the Best Visual Effects category. They lost to Inner Space, a Joe Dante film.
Oh. I thought it won.
It says, though in the same year the Academy had categorized the Predator creature as a visual effect, they honored Rick Baker with an Oscar for Best Makeup for Harry and the Hendersons, which is
basically a costume. Yeah. So Harry and the Hendersons won an Oscar, but Predator did not.
For Best Makeup. But they categorized the Predator as a visual effect. So, I don't know. Certain categories, especially when they're newer categories for the Academy, they haven't quite figured out exactly how to pin down things in. Have a little hard time on the early days of certain categories.
Well, I'm still now 22 years later, not sure what Best Animated Feature Film is actually honoring. Is it honoring
the animation?
The best movie that's animated, or is it the actual animation? And, ow, Jesus Christ. I love that the hand just keeps firing. Pretty sure we've settled on the fact that it's just the best movie that happens to be animated.
Yeah. Those effects where they just got the guy's real arm tucked behind the shirt. I've seen worse versions of it, though.
Yeah, me too.
Way worse.
Don't you think that's kind of anticlimactic?
What? For Dylan?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Just kind of goes to show on this whole thing that it's going to take more than brawn or bullets or anything like that. It's going to take smarts to win.
I just kind of wish that it was Dylan and Schwarzenegger as the last two. And that would have been better, in my opinion. Like, they were adversarial at the beginning, so if it came down to just those two, and then I don't know, I think it'd be a better story. No, you don't agree?
I like the fact that the climax is one-on-one.
Well, I'm saying the climax would have been one-on-one, but
okay.
He would have been like the last of the non-Schwarzenegger, or the last of the team.
So last like another 5 minutes or something.
Right. Like, it gets down to just the two of them, and they say, okay, we're going to beat this thing together. And then he dies, and Schwarzenegger has to do it alone. Like, I don't know, to me that's a better story.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe, yeah.
Than, just being in the middle of the pack of deaths.
I get you, yeah.
Like, he seemed too important
I think they are focusing more on the thing between him and Mac in that regard, because they start out really just like Mac's ready to cut this guy and leave him for dead, but then they kind of build a little bit of respect and kind of Dylan turns the corner and everything.
I think they could have done that, and then he rejoined the team with the newfound attitude.
Sure.
Like, I don't think that guy that just got shot in the head should have lasted longer.
Yeah.
Pancho should have lasted longer than Carl Weathers.
Gotcha, yeah.
Come on, Shane Black, aren't you around to just, snap things into place? Rearrange? I mean, the pussy joke was outstanding.
I like the fact that they could all be, because it's all him and Billy. And the fact is, half the time, Hawkins, his character named Hawkins, he's got such bad delivery, because the pussy line, he's all fucking he's gasping for breath and everything. He can't really deliver it like a proper joke.
He was literally running by and decided to tell his teammate a joke.
Right.
Like, that joke would have been better in the chopper on the way over, right?
When he's trying to shout over the freaking chopper and everything, and you can barely hear him and anything.
Well, it would have been in the...
Just like he's trying to shout it, or
the character setup phase, as opposed to in the midst of battle phase.
Yeah.
Because you're right, he was like running by, he's all blown up. The ending to this is kind of like Rambo. Isn't Rambo the second one? Isn't that the one where he's got the Asian girl and they're in the river?
Yeah.
Rambo First Blood Part 2. Excuse me.
As it goes.
I like that his face is half covered in mud.
Mm-hmm.
And now he looks like Bruce Willis in the air duct. The bodysuit, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not sold on the rubber suit. I really think it's stronger as an invisible object. Or like this, I think, is fine. But, I mean, the fingers in particular, what did you call them earlier? Mandibles?
No, mandibles
are
the
on jaw.
On the face
jaw?
Later.
accidental camouflage. Did I see... Does that have a tail? Or is it wearing a loincloth?
Yeah, it is.
That's weird. The more I watch this, the more I think it's silly. Because it's an alien.
Yes.
Which makes the title Alien vs. Predator really ridiculous, because it's Alien versus Alien.
Wow.
I love the idea. I'm very disenchanted with the look of the creature. Love this tree, though.
Imagine having to go out and scout locations in the middle of the fucking jungle.
That'd be so fun. Like, I would love to be a location scout. I think I've got a pretty good eye for it. If you're walking through the jungle and you come across a tree like this, how do you not go, this is it, we found it? What a badass, just in life. Like, he's one of those people that I feel like has just lived his gimmick the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I firmly believe if Arnold Schwarzenegger, the person, were dumped in the jungle, he'd be just fine surviving like this.
Sure.
I have a hard time separating the man, the actor, from the characters, you know?
Oof.
Oh, the skull and spine. That's fun. Yuck. Screaming Mad George.
Maybe.
I think he specializes in liquids.
It's nice atmosphere and everything with this. Just like it's simple stuff.
It's kind of like Rambo or First Blood.
Yeah. Look at that. Damn.
Look at that, most muscular.
Mr. Olympia.
He shot the arrow through the tree. Soft wood, must be. You ever watch any of the archery in the Olympics?
No.
Oh my God, it's incredible. As we're recording this, the Olympics are going on. Archery is unbelievable. It's like 3/4 of a football field. And they're hitting these little, couple-inch targets. Oh, he's got a little collection there.
Uh-huh.
Ah, Lass Yorick. I knew him well. That's from Hamlet. Everybody loves Hamlet. I do not. I'm a Macbeth guy. And it's interesting that there's no dialogue because
yeah, that's what's so good.
He's obviously he's got no one left.
Yeah.
Although, what happened to the girl?
her and Pancho caught the chopper. There's the whole thing, get to the chopper.
Right, right. That's ridiculous. It's fun, but it's ridiculous.
It's just the war cry calling him to him.
Now, why is he not invisible?
Well, it was short-circuiting when he was getting out of the water, but I believe he's back to it shortly. This is nice.
Is he healing himself? Is that what he's doing?
Heating up the blade.
Oh, I see. And I like that he's using the mud. Like, he realized the mud was camouflage, so
Right.
he reapplied, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
These trees are huge.
Yeah, gigantic.
I like that the sweat was running down his face, blurring the mud. Even this, like, the camouflage aspect of it works. Like, they've got it where he's blending into the tree, which is a very nice touch. Wouldn't it feel him? Yeah, this kind of cat and mouse situation.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You could definitely tell, like, if this was helmed by, like, a lesser director, it could come off feeling kind of cheap, or it could feel a little undercooked. I feel like with McTiernan having such a strong handle on the tone of it, you just it's more than just an action film. It's got the tension for it. It's creeping you up on the edge of the seat and everything like that.
I don't know. I think it's kind of hokey.
Okay, well,
The Predator.
I've never had a problem with it. I always felt it was some Stan Winston's best design work.
Love that shot
Yeah.
of the exploding tree and the fireworks. Like, I don't mind the story.
Sure. Would you prefer the other design?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I prefer the invisible.
Okay.
Like, even though it looks bad, I think him against a guy in a rubber suit takes me out of it. Like, I believe the invisible entity is a mysterious threat.
Okay.
That is a guy in a suit, a rubber suit. And it just feels...
It's not striking your suspension of disbelief.
Right. Well... And sometimes I'm completely fine with suspending disbelief. I kind of am with the invisibility thing. Like, it looks weird, but like it's like a weird, globby, invisible thing. You can tell there's something there, but you don't know what.
Okay.
But now they've told me what, and it's weird.
Okay.
It's kind of the difference between Nightmare 1 and Dream Master. In Dream Master, they turn the lights on.
Sure.
And they've made him, full, in your face.
Okay.
And now he's not scary anymore, if that makes sense.
Not as much, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just a weird default back to what you don't see is scarier than what you do. Mm-hmm. He's certainly been very crafty in building weapons and.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I was saying earlier. Like, and it seems, and for me, like when people talk about some other films in the franchise, like, oh, I don't believe that person could take on a predator. Well, it's not about the size of the person. It's not about how many muscles you have, because clearly all these other muscle guys haven't stood a fucking chance against it because they're not. They're trying to fight him with brawns and not fight him with brains. That's what Dutch is doing here. He's fighting him smart. He's using tactics and techniques, strategy.
Love that, the whites of the eyes.
Yeah.
That's really well done.
Really nice here.
I think the glow stick blood is really cool.
Yeah, it's really effective.
Yeah.
And I realizes, I got smart too. I faked him out and let him into a trap. But then...
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna wash all the mud off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like really distinctly.
Yeah.
This goes back to your working at night scene, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh. I wonder what the logic is behind not just shooting it with your laser beams like you did everybody else.
I feel like the characterization kind of builds as the film goes on, as it's almost like he's searching for the perfect adversary. As he's kind of observed Dutch evolving as the hunt has gone on. It feels like this is something I want to take care of up close. I want to, as it's like a game hunter. If it finds a really good prey out there that gives him a challenge, he wants to have a bigger satisfaction in taking him out.
That's an awful lot of assumption for an alien.
Like, beyond anyone else, its face up to this point here, this is the one that's given the most run for his money.
Well, he also
shown the smarts.
He didn't give a chance to some of the other ones. He just blasted them out.
Sure, yeah.
Which, like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the mouth part.
And then you see him. There's some of these shots here where some people think that Van Damme stayed on the film to do a few, because some of these longer shots don't quite. You're not entirely certain if it is Schwarzenegger or they got some to double him at some points in time.
Surely that would be listed in the credits,
like, that looks more like Van Damme to me. But I don't know. There's no confirmation about it. There's just speculation based on a couple of shots here and there. Because
now, did you say Van Damme was in the original outfit?
He was the guy
original
had
Predator?
to be the original guy inside the creature. When basically they didn't really get to like the full real thing. They were just kind of bopping it around with the orange chroma key version of it. And I think there are a couple of photos of him kind of partially in the outfit, the real deal one. It's like, if you get a couple of shots of like the two of them in frame together, it's like, as big as you portray Arnold in these films, then you have something that makes him look small. It makes a major impression.
Well, he's not that big of a person anyway, right?
Well, yeah, Arnold's only about 6 feet or so, but as they portray him in the film, a lot of low angle shots, just showing all the big muscles, but you show him against something that's like 7 feet tall and maybe 300 pounds at least. It doesn't make him look as big as he did earlier in the film. It creates more of a physical threat on top of everything else. So you haven't really seen it as much in context with anyone else in the film to give it a scale.
Right. And you're saying that this guy is the Harry and the Hendersons guy who's like 7 feet tall?
Kevin Peter Hall, who passed away 93, 94. I think he had HIV.
Oh, really?
I think that was the case. But he did so much good work on this whole thing. I mean, I've seen certain other films, even ones in this franchise, like the AVP. The first AVP is like sometimes you get a guy in the suit who just doesn't do anything with it. Doesn't create a body language. Doesn't create a character with it.
Did Hall do part 2?
Yes.
Concrete Jungle.
Yeah.
Predators Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he did the second film. Yeah. It came out in 1990.
Squish. Just like that scorpion earlier. Oops, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's never over when you think it's over.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't find any boy. Kind of feel bad for the guy, right? The Predator.
Yeah. But there's like, it's already fucked.
I like the mouth.
Yeah.
It's a great design.
Yeah, that was Cameron's idea.
Our guy, Jim Cameron.
Full of great ideas. $1 billion ideas. This one didn't make anywhere close to that much.
No. I mean, they called Jim Henson the idea man, but...
Oof.
Jim Cameron giving him a run for his money. Yeah, that's weird. So, did he program himself to self-destruct?
Yeah.
That's the implication?
Yeah. That's Kevin Peter Hall there.
Where?
You're the pilot there with the black guy.
Oh,
That's the real deal guy.
HIV.
Sadly. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know he was a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is very, like...
He passed away in 91, so like a couple months after Predator 2 hit theaters.
Wow. This is very post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. He died from AIDS-related pneumonia.
Yeah, that's
rough.
Common. You, once your HIV hits to the point where your immune system is basically done, then you have full-blown AIDS, and you're susceptible to everything, and usually it's pneumonia that gets you.
Yeah.
Well, Shane Black, unbelievable. Have you seen these memes going around where...
He's your boy.
I love him. Where they overdub TV theme songs to this end credit?
No, I have not.
The best one is the Golden Girls theme. It literally matches perfectly. I need everybody out there right now to do a search for Predator Golden Girls, and it goes from the start of it till right here, and it's "Thank You for Being a Friend." It's perfect. It matches like beat for beat, and it's got a new person like turning their head and smiling, and it looks like a TV theme song. The end credits there.
I think it's the only one the franchise that did the curtain call credits for.
I like curtain call credits.
Right.
In general, any movie.
Yeah. I like that the Scream franchise kind of picked it up and kept it going.
You really don't see it very much anymore. So yeah, I mean
Not
that
particularly. Very rare.
Puma Ramirez on the dolly.
Paul Powers, not Jim Powers.
Oh, okay.
Paul Roman, Jim Powers.
Come on, right, Young Stallions. Yeah, right. Oh.
Alfredo Ruf Caba. I'm not adept enough to say that name.
How about John P? Special
make it
effects.
easy.
You're right.
Bill Voigtlander.
There's what were we gonna look for? We were gonna look for somebody here. I don't remember.
Yeah, Van Damme. I don't think Van Damme got.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Craig R. Baxley, he's a big stunt guy. He would direct a couple of flicks here and there. I think he did Action Jackson with Carl Weathers. That
concept artist Steve Wang. That was my nickname in high school. Screaming Mad George, there he is.
Berger, Kurtzman.
Howard Berger, yeah. Yeah, I would really like to see JCVD in the credits here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think he got official credit. Green Quest also from Cameron stuff. Stunt people. Gary Baxley. Peter Kent, who would be doubling Arnold in T2. So perhaps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, perhaps he ends up being the guy we're talking about instead of being Van Damme.
Oh, sure, right.
Shots,
right.
It's possible.
Yeah, because if they didn't actually use Van Damme anywhere,
but those
cut scenes, then
because if they basically like threw the thing out, then took several weeks off, are you really gonna bring him back?
Right. There's no point.
Yeah, then it wouldn't make much of a sense.
You already recast it.
Yeah, it would seem more likely that it's probably Peter Kent doing those shots. Well,
yeah. This was more just for a filler spot, but it was fun.
It's fun. I mean, for me, I like it so much because I think Arnold's done really good work in other stuff. Like Terminator 2 is great stuff, but this is him as really the main lead, and I think he does one of his best performances in my regard. Because he's not chewing up the scenery like his Commando or something like that, spinning off one-liners left, right, and center like his Total Recall. He's very much focused as a very kind of dramatic role in this one, so I really appreciate what he did in this one and what McTiernan was able to pull out of him.
Yeah, the bodysuit throws me off, but other than that, I enjoy it.
Yeah. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys throwing your comments below and sharing your thoughts on the film and everything we discussed here. So
we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.